Eli read that message again and again until the words blurred into one another. A real job. Those 3 words twisted inside him. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't chasing fame. He was chasing meaning. Every time he helped someone, every time he saw a spark return to a stranger's eyes, he felt alive. That was his purpose. That was his fight. But lately, that spark had been missing, both in others and in himself. He shoved his phone into his pocket, adjusted his worn backpack, and started walking toward the subway. His sneakers splashed through puddles, his reflection shattered with every step. The city that once felt like a canvas for his dreams now looked like a graveyard of them. As he descended into the subway station, a soft tune echoed off the tiled walls, a street musician strumming an old guitar. The man's voice was raspy but full of soul, singing words that hit Eli right where it hurt. "Don't quit before your miracle comes." Eli stopped. He looked at the musician, gray beard, weathered hands, eyes that had seen too much, and tossed his last crumpled $5 bill into the open guitar case. The man looked up, nodded, and smiled. "You're the vibe warrior, aren't you?" Eli froze. You know me." The man chuckled softly. "My daughter showed me your videos last year. The one where you gave that kid a skateboard. He still rides it every day. You helped him stay out of trouble." For a moment, Eli couldn't speak. His throat tightened. He hadn't thought about that kid in months. That video had hit 1 million views back then. People called him an inspiration. Now, he felt like a ghost. "Thanks," Eli finally whispered. "Guess I needed to hear that." The man smiled again, his fingers brushing over the guitar strings. "Then maybe that's your sign. The world needs warriors like you, even when they don't clap for you." Eli sat on a bench, watching the musician play until the last train screeched into the station. As he boarded, his reflection in the window looked tired but not broken. Maybe that was something. When he got home, a tiny apartment filled with old camera gear, sticky notes, and motivational quotes peeling from the wall, he dropped his backpack and stared at the one photo pinned above his desk. It was him, 2 years ago, standing in front of a homeless shelter he'd helped rebuild. His smile back then was fearless, unshakable. He whispered to the photo, "Where did you go, man?" Silence. He turned on his laptop, ready to post one last video, not a message of hope, but a goodbye. His fingers hovered over the keyboard. "Hey guys, this might be my last post," he started recording, voice trembling. But then, a knock at the door. He frowned. It was nearly midnight. Opening the door, he found a teenage boy standing in the rain, holding a soaked cardboard box. "You're Eli Kane, right? The vibe warrior." Eli blinked, surprised. "Yeah, who are you?" The boy grinned shyly. "My name's Tyler. You don't know me, but you changed my mom's life." Before Eli could ask, Tyler opened the box. Inside was a neatly folded hoodie, one of Eli's first merch drops from years ago. The faded text read, "Keep vibing, no matter what. My mom got this from one of your giveaways when she was in rehab," Tyler explained, eyes glistening. "She said your videos kept her going when no one else believed she could make it. She's been sober for 2 years now. She told me to find you, and give this back. Said you might need it more than she does now." Eli's breath caught. For a second, he couldn't even blink. Rainwater ran down Tyler's face, or maybe it was tears, he couldn't tell. He took the hoodie, feeling the familiar roughness of its fabric, the weight of every story it represented. He could still smell the faint scent of detergent and hope. "She said to tell you," Tyler continued, "don't stop. You don't know who's watching." And just like that, the lump in Eli's throat burst. He laughed, the first real laugh in weeks, and clutched the hoodie against his chest. "Tell your mom, she just saved me back." Tyler smiled wide, nodded, and disappeared into the rain. Eli closed the door, dropped to his knees, and cried. Not tears of defeat, but release. Every struggle, every doubt, every lonely night, it all led to this moment. The universe had whispered again, reminding him, destiny never forgets the ones who keep fighting. He wiped his eyes, put the hoodie on, and looked into his camera again. This time, his voice was steady. "Hey guys, it's Eli, the Vibe Warrior. I almost gave up tonight. But then I realized, warriors don't quit. We rest, we heal, and then we rise again." He paused, smiling through his tears. "So if you're watching this, don't let the silence fool you. Someone out there needs your light. Keep vibing. Destiny's not done with you yet." He hit upload. Within minutes, the comments started flooding in. Old followers, new ones, messages from around the world. You came back. I needed this today. You saved me again. Eli sat back, closed his eyes, and let the warmth of those words sink in. For the first time in months, the noise in his mind went quiet. He realized, this was never about views or fame. It was about connection, energy, the invisible thread between broken souls trying to help each other shine again. Outside, the rain slowed to a gentle drizzle. Somewhere in the city, the old musician strummed the same tune again, "Don't quit before your miracle comes." Eli smiled softly, whispering to the universe, "Guess the miracle showed up after all." And for the first time in a long while, the Vibe Warrior didn't feel alone. The next morning, sunlight leaked through Eli's blinds, painting soft gold streaks across the cluttered room. For the first time in weeks, he woke up with something in his chest that wasn't heaviness, it was quiet determination. The kind of peace that comes when a man remembers why he started. He brewed a cup of cheap coffee, slipped on the same faded hoodie Tyler had returned, and opened his laptop. Overnight, his video had gone viral, not in the flashy, trending way, but in the human way. Thousands of comments, hundreds of shares. One stood out, "I was about to give up on life tonight, until I saw your post. Thank you for reminding me I still matter." Eli stared at that line for a long time, heart pounding. He whispered, "This is it. This is why I fight." He spent the next few hours replying to messages, answering DMs, and watching the ripple spread. People were tagging him in their acts of kindness again, helping strangers, feeding the homeless, buying food for delivery workers. It was like his light had reignited hundreds more. But as the day went on, something else happened. A message popped up from a woman named Lydia Banks, the founder of a large nonprofit organization that worked on youth empowerment. Her message read, "Greater than, Eli, your comeback video inspired our entire team. We'd love to collaborate. Maybe you could help lead a kindness campaign for our urban youth program. Let's talk." Eli blinked at the screen, almost laughing in disbelief. The universe didn't waste time, apparently. When destiny moves, it moves fast. By the next week, he was standing in front of a group of 50 teenagers in a run-down community center, holding a microphone. Most of them looked uninterested, lost in their phones or their own silence. But Eli recognized that look. He used to wear it too. He took a deep breath and started, "Hey, I'm Eli, some of you might know me as the Vibe Warrior. But today, I don't want to talk about followers or likes. I want to talk about something way more powerful, energy." The word caught their attention. A few looked up. "See," he continued, pacing slowly, "every one of us carries energy. When you're kind, when you forgive, when you try one more time after failing, that's energy. And energy doesn't disappear, it echoes. You might think no one sees you, no one notices. But someone does. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but your vibe changes the world in ways you can't measure." The room was quiet now. No scrolling, no murmurs. Just listening. Eli pulled the faded hoodie gently. "This hoodie, someone gave it back to me when I was about to quit. Said their mom wore it through her worst days. That reminded me, I don't get to quit, because this fight isn't just mine anymore. It's ours." A boy in the front row raised his hand. "So you're saying we can change things, just by being nice?" Eli smiled. "Not just nice. Real. Kindness isn't weakness, it's rebellion. When you stay kind in a cruel world, you're basically saying, you can't take my light. And that's the strongest move there is." The room erupted in claps and laughter, but underneath it, something had shifted. Hope had entered the space like sunlight through broken windows. After the talk, Lydia approached him, eyes gleaming. "You have a gift, Eli. You make people believe again." He chuckled softly. "Guess the universe just needed to remind me." That evening, as he walked home through the city streets, Eli noticed things he hadn't in months. A couple sharing coffee, a kid helping an old lady with groceries, a street artist painting a mural of two hands reaching toward each other. It was as if kindness had started blooming everywhere he looked. But destiny wasn't done testing him. A few days later, while heading to another workshop, Eli saw a familiar figure sitting on the steps of a subway entrance, the old guitarist from that rainy night. His guitar case was closed, his face pale. "Hey," Eli said, kneeling beside him. "You okay?" The old man smiled weakly. "Guess I'm not as strong as I used to be. Doctor says my heart's giving out." Eli's throat tightened. "You got anyone to help you?" He shook his head. "No family. But don't worry about me. I got to see you rise again, that's enough. Those words hit Eli like lightning. He grabbed the man's hand. No way, old friend. You reminded me who I was. Now it's my turn. That night, Eli shared the man's story online, not a pity post, but a mission. He started a fundraiser called, He Played for Hope, explaining how one song in a subway changed his life. The internet responded like wildfire. Within 48 hours, donations poured in, enough to cover the musician's treatment, his rent, and even new instruments for other street performers. When Eli handed him the news, the old man's eyes filled with tears. Your proof, son, he whispered, voice trembling, that kindness always finds its way home. Eli smiled, squeezing his shoulder. No, you're proof that it starts with one person who refuses to stop giving. The video of that moment went viral across platforms, reaching millions. In this time, Eli didn't feel overwhelmed. He felt anchored. The Vibe Warrior wasn't just a name, it had become a movement again. Weeks turned into months. Eli's collaboration with Lydia's organization expanded into nationwide youth programs. Schools invited him to speak. Strangers stopped him on the street to thank him. But through it all, he stayed grounded, same small apartment, same hoodie, same message. One night, during a live stream, someone asked him, Eli, do you ever get tired of carrying the world's problems on your shoulders? He smiled gently, into the camera. I don't carry the world. I just carry my corner of it. And if everyone did that, the world wouldn't be so heavy. The comments flooded with hearts and tears. Later that night, when the camera was off and the city outside had gone still, Eli stood by his window, looking at the skyline, glowing, alive, and perfect. He thought about every person who had touched his journey. The guitarist, Tyler, his mother, Lydia, even Zara, who once told him to get a real job. He picked up his phone and texted her. You were right, I did get a real job. Just happens to be changing lives. She replied instantly. Guess destiny had other plans, huh? Eli smiled, setting the phone down. Yeah, he whispered to himself, it really did. As the moonlight brushed his face, he realized something profound. Destiny doesn't come crashing in. It arrives quietly, disguised as strangers, storms, and second chances. And when you almost give up, that's when it steps in, whispering, keep going. You're almost there. The Vibe Warrior leaned back, closed his eyes, and let the silence hum with purpose. Tomorrow, he'd wake up and do it all again, because for him, spreading light wasn't a mission anymore. It was who he was. And destiny was finally smiling back.